Is working out always easy for me? Is having good habits and sticking to my plan as simple as it looks? Do I always have the willpower it takes to do all of these? Well, of course not. So, how do I stay motivated? So, one of the best books I've ever read was Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It was a total game changer. Since then, why is the question that I ask myself the most during the day, even multiple times per day. It helps me find clarity, it helps me reassess my ideas, and if I find the answer to why I'm doing something, I know that I can find motivation. If I don't find the answer to why I'm doing something, that means that I might have to reconsider my motivation towards what I'm doing. I recently released a video about willpower, and this is kind of a follow-up to that video if you consider that willpower and motivation are quite connected to each other. In that video, I talked about willpower as a muscle, and I said that it can be trained, but it often gets tired. And I'm the first one to say and to admit that sometimes I need more motivation to do something, or maybe I struggle to stay on track, or I'm simply having a slack day. So reminding myself and rethinking about why I'm doing that thing helps me find motivation and get back on track. Probably even more important than having a good reason to do things is keeping it simple. I read an article a few weeks ago that talked about how to design an environment around yourself that enhances productivity. By productivity, I don't necessarily mean like the professional aspect of being productive. I simply mean doing things more effectively. And this can be, of course, at work, but it can be even in your personal life, in fitness, and in whatever you want. It all depends on the environment we find ourselves in. The key is to build a system or an environment around yourself that promotes productive behaviors and inhibits destructive and unproductive ones. For example, if you design your workspace in such a way that it is comfortable and pleasant to stay, you will find less resistance to give up working. On the other side, if your workstation is all messed up, then when you need to start working, you start thinking, oh God, I have to clean up all that mess, I have to make room for my laptop, and then you start feeling that resistance that keeps you from starting working. I try to convey this message in every video I make. I already made a video about routines and the importance of having good routines. I try to keep my life as simple as I can. I do things over and over again. I set up my day and my routines in such a way that I don't have to overthink. And this is the problem with all of us. Most of us try to figure out things as we go, and this does not lead to results in the short term, and this is mainly the reason why we lose motivation so quickly. Instead, if you have a plan that works, you can set and forget for good. I say it's easy for me to keep this lifestyle, but that doesn't mean it has always been easy. It wasn't easy, for example, in my 20s when my top priority was hanging out with friends and having drinks with friends. In that moment of my life, there were other priorities for me rather than putting in a workout session, for example. And this is exactly the point of this video. Stop for a second and ask yourself why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to be fit? Why do you want to be healthy? These are all simple things to do, but the difficult thing is staying on track because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of commitment. Do you really want to be healthier? Do you really want to be fit? Because it takes a lot of willpower and a lot of motivation. And there's nothing bad if you don't want to, but if you don't want to, stop fooling yourself around because you will lose the little bit of motivation that you have left. So find your why first, and then you will find motivation. Well, in your defense, I have to say that there are a lot of temptations out there. You can find pretty much everywhere clickbait headlines such as lose belly fat in 1 week or simply get shredded for good sitting on your couch. Those are all distractions that just take you away from your goals. So how come it is simple for me? I keep it easy. I don't have many distractions in my life and I filter out all the noise that keeps me away from the path I want to be on. I make things simple. I meal prep in the weekend, so I know exactly what to eat every day and I don't find myself unprepared and I need to eat like junk food during the week because I have no food in the fridge. I plan my workouts weekly, so I know exactly what to do every day and this leaves no room for improvisation or for excuses. It's like having lunch. You know that tomorrow around noon you're gonna have lunch, so you don't need to plan around it. And this happens for me in the same way for my workouts. I don't say, am I gonna work out tomorrow early morning or maybe before or after lunch or maybe after work, before dinner. No, that doesn't happen. I know that tomorrow I'm gonna work out exactly at the same time I did today because I've been doing this for years and it has become second nature. I'm not doing anything fancy, I'm not doing anything like super complicated. I'm simply building a system around myself that helps me make easier the things I want to do and make more complicated the things that I don't want to do. It's simply a way to trick my mind. Exactly for the opposite reason, most of the people who start out fail right away because they tend to overcomplicate things and they get paralyzed by analysis. Especially if you are at the beginning of your transformation, you don't really need to overcomplicate your workout routines. Most of us are not super athletes, so we don't need a super special routine, something like out of ordinary. You just need to get started. You don't need to overcomplicate your mind with should I do cardio or resistance training? Should I go to run before or after doing weights and resistance training? Well, guess what? That doesn't matter. If you're at the beginning of your transformation, you don't need anything fancy. You don't need fancy machines, fancy equipment, treadmills. You don't need all that stuff. Just grab a piece of weight, lift it, bring it around, carry here and there, and put it back down. That's enough. Don't have weights at home? Well, just use your body. I'm pretty sure that you will realize very quickly that it's heavy enough. Stop trying to figure out the impossible and just get started. Getting started is very easy, and if you fall in love with the process, you will find all the motivation you need and it will become second nature. That is what I said in my very first video. I make my life very easy. Eat healthy, do exercise, and keep your mind busy. This is why it is so simple for me, because it is ingrained in my lifestyle. If you look at all successful people out there, you can find something in common. It all seems easy for them and they seem to have it all figured out. But it is not actually that simple. It is because they really want it, they live for it, it is their top priority. It is not just an itch that they need to scratch, it is something that really matters for them. It is their top priority. This makes it easier for them to tolerate sacrifice, frustration, failure. They know their results will come, so they learn to be patient. And if you think about it, it's the same that happens in our life on a daily basis. How long did it take you to fall in love with your spouse? How long did you have to nurture a relationship with a friend before becoming best friends? How long does it take to build trust? How many things have you truly achieved without putting in any effort? You already know what it takes because you never achieve results overnight. You already know what it takes because you've already done it in other areas of your life. So why, in other areas of our lives, we demand things so quickly? And most of the times without even knowing why. That is because we don't really want it. We would like to have it. We are so used to instant gratification that we have lost the real meaning of time. If you want my frank opinion, I think that motivation only lasts for an initial burst at the very beginning. It helps you get started, but if you are not patient enough to wait for results, you will quickly run out of it, very quickly. So what keeps the fire burning when you run out of motivation? Well, it is discipline. Discipline is the actualization of willpower. And why does it work better than motivation? Because motivation is usually tied to our mood, to how we feel. In fact, we need motivation to do the things we don't like. Nobody needs motivation to watch Netflix or eat pizza. We need motivation to do the things we feel resistance doing. Generally, the question we ask ourselves is, how can I force myself to like something that I have to do even if I don't like it? Well, this question usually yields no results because, as I said in other videos, we have to pay attention to how we talk to our brain. A better way to phrase this question would be, how can I find a way to avoid my mood to interfere with my motivation? Well, you do it with discipline. Discipline is the answer. You do that thing because you know it is the right thing to do and not just because your mood allows to it. You do it regardless. But why? Why do I do this? Well, it is simply because I feel that the consequences of not doing such things feel worse. I love how it feels to be in a good shape, to feel stronger every day, to achieve. And on the other side, I don't like how I feel or how I think or even how I look if I don't work out and keep myself in a good shape. It might sound a little bit narcissistic, but it's really not. I'm simply talking about being a little more self-centered, and that doesn't mean being selfish or narcissistic. Simply start thinking about yourself a little bit more and putting yourself in the first place just a little bit more. If you have goals, just stick to them. Don't worry about what other people are gonna think. People who really love you will understand that you will be 1 hour late at the party because you wanted to go to the gym first, and they will still support you and they will still be your friends. So figure out if you really want something, keep it simple, be patient and wait for results, and last, be disciplined. See you in the next video.